Hello, everybody, and good evening, and welcome here to the Illinois Media School Lombard campus. I am Ryan Fay. I am your host of the 2017 Illinois Media School Fantasy Football Draft. I want to thank everybody for tuning in on our IMS Facebook Live network. As you can see here through our room, we got some of our fine SportsTownChicago.com hosts who are going to be drafting throughout this 16-round night as well. We're going to have some more hosts come on in, and they're even going to put on a headset, and we're going to talk some NFL football as well. The season is just around the corner. I mean, we're starting in what is it, 10 days, guys? Not even. And the notification even just went off on my phone. We are starting the draft right now. Kevin Brown, KB, has got the first pick overall in the draft. And let me get my phone real quick. And we'll follow along to see what pick he gets in the meantime. And we'll get the entire draft board of what everybody's picks are going to be throughout the night on your screen in just a little bit. Our director and our doing some fine work, as always, Tim Helms, will be the one getting that one done for us in just a little bit. Kevin Brown on the clock. Some of the players out there that we've all talked about, if you've been following fantasy football or you're a fantasy football nerd, or you're just learning fantasy football for the first time like our director did last Thursday when he took Michael Thomas with the 8th pick. See, he's already telling me to shut up, and we're, 2 minutes being live. So, I mean, that's the start you get right now. So, Kevin Brown on the clock right now, 30 seconds left. We're at 90 seconds per each pick throughout the night. 16 rounds. This is an ESPN PPR scoring league. There are 10 teams in this draft, and we got some fine personalities, I will put in air quotes. And you'll hear through some of them throughout the night as well. We got Big Lou Henry in the house tonight. We got Alex Reed. Anyway. But we also have fine statistician Joe Albert, also here with us as well, big Cub fan. And the first pick off the board, and it was Le'Veon Bell. First overall off the board. I don't know what, and now John Kahn just showed up, and he even gave me the shock look on that one. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Le'Veon Bell in the first pick?
No, second.
Second.
Yeah, David Johnson.
Oh, David Johnson went first. Okay, the phone on here lagged real quick, so that's why I got a little confused. But either way, so the next pick is as blunt force trauma. As I say that, whose team name is that? I can't even. I'll look it on here in just a minute. But if I see on here that's Steve Suffredin, who fortunately cannot be here tonight. But he's been actually in one of my personal fantasy leagues over the last couple of years, and I actually beat him in the playoffs the last couple of years. So Steve Suff, pick wisely. Even though I'm not playing you this year, but you still suck. Story for another time. But anyway, Steve Suff now on the clock. He's got the third pick so far in this first round. And just to give an idea for how everybody is going to see how the draft order will work, it'll go 1 through 10, first pick through 10th pick, and then the 10th pick will have the first pick in the second round, as it'll do that inverse order every other round. So just for those following along at home for these 10 teams. So blunt force trauma on the clock. Now, Suffredin did say he was going to be at a concert tonight, so I don't know how his auto picks are going to be. But he was at least gracious enough to join, and he said he adjusted his draft settings, and we'll find out right now what he got. Then he took Antonio Brown. What a shocker. So there you go off the clock. Now, Stephen Weekly has the 4th overall pick, and that is Alex Reed's long-lost brother. Is that true? Is that true, or is that
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Father figure? I don't know.
He's old enough to be my dad. Yeah.
Dad or granddad? Is there I don't know how big the age gap is.
Yeah, he's really.
Oh, that's okay. That I wasn't gonna go that far on the insults, but either way, hey, wow. Well, either way, Stephen Weekly on the clock. He's got the 4th pick, and he just like that, he takes it off. And who does he have? Jordan Howard is off the board with the 4th overall pick in the IMS Lombard 2017 Fantasy Football Draft. Wow. And then the late edition now, John Kahn Jr. on the clock. The gentleman in the white shirt that you'll see on your screen throughout the night, and the backwards Bears cap, and the plaid shorts, and the Deja Blue water.
Mike Evans.
He takes Mike Evans. Who was it that was talking about Mike Evans a little bit? I think it was Josh Balcall, who was in our building, was mentioning him. Now, I don't want to say this team name on air because I think it's too soon to say on air, but Joe Albert's team is next. He's taking, wow, that was quick. Julio Jones. All right, well, no. You're going to be my first guest, so you're going to walk on over. You're going to put on the headset. Oh, boy. So our first guest, Joe Albert, he took Julio Jones within, I think, 6 seconds from what it said on the phones or the laptops, guys? I'm not sure. Either way, Brett Anderson's next up. Fine IMS product. Now, Joe, putting on the headset right now. So you took Julio Jones like a snap of a finger. Why?
Well, honestly, he's one of the best receivers in the league. He's going to get targets. He's definitely going to get receptions.
Yawn.
He's going to get
Any better reasoning than this?
He's going to get me points every week. I'm guaranteed to have at least 10 points. And
there were games but that's the thing, though. There were a lot. There were some games last year where he went. I'm not sure. Ugh.
There were some games that he went quiet, but he still put up.
I would know because I had him on my team last year.
So did I. We were playing in a PPR and points per reception. So if he gets 12 yards on one reception, he's got 1.5 points. Yeah, that hurts me, but more than likely that's one of the fluke games that he might have in a given year. And I'm looking more towards the end of the season anyways. So
you know what? I'll go with your logic, I guess. It just he kind of hurt me in the fantasy championship last year because he didn't give me enough points. Even though the tight end I had on my bench, let's just say I should have started him. But either way,
yeah, I'm just saying, like, you start with a cornerstone receiver or running back, and there's no more running backs left on the board that I like. So I picked.
All right, and there you go. So now we just talked about Julio Jones being off the board. So paid in full now. Big Lou, you're on the clock, buddy. So thank you, Joe. I'll be hearing from you throughout the night as well.
All right.
Now, I'll ask our director. Do we have the board up yet on our screens yet or not yet? All right, well, we'll be sure to work on that a little bit later on. Hopefully we'll get that board up for everybody to see on our IMS Facebook network in just a little bit. Either way, Big Lou on the clock now. He's got just under a minute. I heard Mitch Trubisky's a really good quarterback, Lou. I just want to. I don't know if anybody else is here. Who's favor of Mitch Trubisky? Yay, nay?
Devontae Freeman just got picked up too.
And well, there goes. So you're not taking Mitch Trubisky. You went with Devontae Freeman, the safe choice there, Lou. Or come on, what gives? Well, that now puts Alex Reed on the clock. Alex Reed with the 9th pick in the first round. I don't know why Mitch Trubisky is not being selected yet. This really is You took the Jaguars rookie. All right, come here. Yeah, you're putting the headset on now.
I got the 12th pick too, man.
I don't care. You're putting on the headset right now. No. Come here. You got time.
Wait, hold on. Let me.
All right, I'll let you wait. All right. Well, now.
My 12th pick in, and then I'll come on.
All right. Okay. Anyway. All right. Up next is our fine admissions coordinator, David Walsh, here at the Illinois Media School Lombard campus. This is the team named Lombard Green Storm. I mean, it did storm actually in Lombard earlier today, so I don't know if that had anything to do with his team name or not. But either way, Leonard Fournette off the board and shaking a lot of heads in this room. Okay.
Not as shocking as Jordan Howard with the 4th pick.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still upset that nobody. I'm surprised that Mitch Trubisky was not the first overall pick. So this draft already sucks. You all are ruining this moment for me.
Jordan Howard was my guy. Who I was going to take.
You're gonna take Jordan. All right, Jordan Howard with the 8th pick, really?
Well, at the 8th pick, yeah.
Okay.
Jordan Howard's a good 8th.
All right. That one I can respect. Because the thing is, too, is that we saw Jordan Howard get picked like that as the 4th overall pick. And LaShawn McCoy off the board to end the first round. How about that? Remember there were those talks, by the way, about LaShawn McCoy going to the Packers, too. Remember those talks? I think it's one of those too little too late, if anything, but I remember seeing Bears Twitter just explode about that, and man, was it not pretty? As if it's never pretty anyway. But you get the idea.
So who is the Lombard Greens?
That is our fine admissions coordinator, David Walsh. If you don't know who that is, John Conn Jr., because I just singled you out.
I just took Melvin Gordon.
And he takes Melvin Gordon, so he goes back-to-back running backs. All right, he's got his 1-2 punch set.
I was wondering.
Now, some people have that mentality of, all right, let's get a back-to-back and load up in this category. Some like to try to spread it evenly, but we'll see how you guys do for your first early, as we go into the second round now. So Team Reed on the clock, vigorously studying, as I'll put on my Jim Nantz master's voice. Studies his picks, looking at the computer, looking at those projections. That 16th green is just something else.
How about that playoff?
That was a good playoff, by the way, yesterday, though, between Dustin Johnson and Jordan Spieth. So as he studies the board with his thumb up his nose.
Hot on that 18th, man. Dustin Johnson.
Licking his chops with his thumb, again. And he picks T.Y. Hilton.
Whoa, get that headset on.
Woo, all right. Well, he had to get the headset on anyway. Now you really got to put it on. So, to recap here for Alex Reed, he took the rookie in the first round, Leonard Fournette out of LSU for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now you took T.Y. Hilton. Boy, you're really going out, and I really don't want to say this as a joke, but it's serious. You're really going out on a limb here.
I really am. Look, first of all, T.Y. Hilton's the number one go-to guy. He's
True.
With no matter who's on that team, they don't have much of a running game. They're going to be throwing to T.Y. Hilton immensely. Like if Andrew Luck's healthy, they're going to T.Y. Yeah, and what any quarterback that you throw in there, T.Y. Hilton's going to be their go-to guy. I feel like he's one of the go-to guys, and I don't trust the Bengals exactly because they do have a better running game.
Okay.
And I took Leonard Fournette just because, absolute beast. Young running back. I think he could have, just watching him at LSU now with Jacksonville, he was an absolute beast, an absolute stud. He's going to walk into that number one spot. He's going to be really, really effective. And honestly, right. I mean, just a team that needs a direction, Leonard Fournette's the guy to do it.
Okay,
so.
you know what? All right, so there was some logical reasoning behind the Leonard Fournette pick. Some. I'm not saying a lot, but some. So, all right, you did have some kind of a brain when you picked Leonard Fournette. So, kudos to you. I'll let you get back to your draft room now.
Yeah, gutsy calls, man. Gutsy calls.
All right, so now that Brandon Cooks, Jordy Nelson, AJ Green, and Jay Ajayi fins up, Pete Ferrer, wherever you are watching this. Jay Ajayi off the board, John Kahn Jr., and Stephen Weekly takes the first quarterback in this draft, A-Rod Aaron Rodgers. Discount double check that one.
So we've got Rodgers and Jordan Howard.
Wow.
I've lost track of who is available.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem, John, if you don't know who's available. Rob Gronkowski taken by Steve Sufferton, who apparently is at a concert. And DeMarco Murray and Doug Baldwin back-to-back as we go to the third round now. Michael Thomas, by the way, Tim Helms' legendary first pick in the Soldier Field draft from last Thursday, so well done to you, sir. What? We're just talking about that pick you made from Thursday in that first round of the other draft. But all right. So one of the cool things about this draft for those tuning in here on the Illinois Media School Facebook Network, some of these draft picks, they're going to go quick. And we're going to talk about them as quick as we can as well. And then we're going to also try to make fun of as many people that aren't here at the same time. So Des Bryant now off the board by Forced Trauma, Steve Sufferton. Funny how his team named Forced Trauma, he takes a cowboy.
That's a good point.
I'm going to sip my water after that one. Anyway, somebody give me another cup of water in the meantime. Where are the interns at? Anyway, on the clock, Stephen Weekly, who couldn't be here tonight. Now, he actually did give me a legit reason as to why he couldn't, so I totally respect that and understand if he is watching from home. But if we look back at Stephen Weekly's last couple of picks, remember, he was the one that took Jordan Howard with the fourth pick in that first round. I don't know why. And then he took Aaron Rodgers. So is this going to be an NFC North team? Like, can you pick Cordell Patterson at this point? Like, you got your wide receiver then, right?
He'd be really, really disappointed
Well,
if he did that.
yeah, that's very true. He's got 22 seconds, by the way, to make this pick. So he's running low on the time, and he goes with Antonio Gates. And now here's the funny thing about this. Our one of our fine workers here, by the way, Brian Singleman. One of our fine workers here, by the way, Brian Singleman, was asking me about Antonio Gates as a 14th round backup tight end.
He's like 144.
He's the 24. Oh my. Oh boy. Well, I think that just screwed up a lot of people's, best player available settings now, didn't it?
Not really. He didn't take the...
Well, in the later rounds, it will.
He didn't take the 40th. He took the 140th person.
All right, Steve. Sorry, you know what? I'm going to say this on behalf of the entire room right now. Steve Weekly, if you're watching this, looking, camera, I'm looking at you. You just cost yourself a championship. I'm looking at you. Yeah.
You played yourself.
Jeez. Yeah, no, he did. Now, here's the thing. If this was like the 2009 IMS Fantasy Football Draft, I'd call that a good pick.
Yeah, it was a great pick then.
Terrell Pryor Sr. What? Wow.
Well, here's the thing about that. And you know what? I like the confidence in that because We know how much of a gunslinger Kirk Cousins is for the Redskins. Now that if Terrell Pryor comes in and becomes that wide receiver 2 to Pierre Garçon, the targets are going to be split up a bit, and you got 2 big threats on the outside for that Redskins offense who is in the upper end of NFL offenses, at least on the NFC side of it. Granted, are they the best team in the NFL? No, but their offense is not bad. And now that Todd Gurley off the board, so there's 2 players from the city of Los Angeles, Rams and Chargers respectively, not to get it that confused at all, because now there's 2 football teams in the city of Los Angeles. Do they want to have 4 while they're at it? The Raiders want to go there. Do the Bears want to go? No, they don't.
Just a little fact check there.
Oh, you want me to do? You want to do a fact check? Yeah. No, I said Gates is with the Chargers. Todd Gurley's with the Rams.
No. Pierre Garçon is actually a 49er. He is actually.
Oh, well, I'm an idiot. You caught that live on the air, folks. Thank you.
And McCaffrey off 27. Wow.
Christian all right, Brett Anderson, I think, is kind of...
Wow.
Brett Anderson, by the way, is kind of running this under the radar here for this team. I just want to throw that out there real quick. But, man.
So Brady and McCaffrey are
And Big Lutig, terrific Tom. Do you really think he's going to win that 6th Super Bowl? You may need to put on a headset. You may need to put on a headset a little bit later on there, buddy, just so you know. So... Team Reed, Alex Reed on the clock, the host of the weekly Read on what you guys. I know you guys used to be on Friday. You guys are Tuesdays now. Oh, you're Mondays. Oh, so how was your show today then? If I just, I asked it after the fact. But either way,
I wonder what ranking sheet Steve was looking at when he made that Antonio game.
I hope he.
maybe 2009.
Yeah, no, going into the 09 because wasn't it the 08 AFC Championship that the Chargers were in it?
He was very, very solid.
Yep. See,
The year,
if this was a decade ago, I'd call that a hell of a pick.
that was Rivers' statistically best season. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right? That-
So I mean, if his Pro Football Weekly or whatever his Roto World Fantasy Football rankings are, magazines from 10 years ago, well then he's right on track to win this year, right? No, okay, Steven, come on, buddy. So now we have back-to-back quarterbacks that have now gone off the board. Tom Brady, we just talked about that with Big Lou. Drew Brees and Matt Ryan. So the NFC South quarterbacks, the top 3 are now off the board. Kirk Cousins still available, by the way. Oh, I'm not sorry. I'm talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jameis Winston, excuse me. Redskins are in the NFC East. Well, you know what? And you know what? The host needs a cup of water, Timmy, wherever you went. Well, either way. We begin the 4th round now. So, again, our admissions coordinator, David Walsh, on the clock as he just ended the 3rd round for us, taking Matt Ryan with the 30th pick. Wonder if he's going to go... Although I feel like he's going to go wide receiver. I don't think he took wide receiver yet because he took 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds, didn't he not?
Who?
He went Melvin Gordon and let's look back here on our chart real quick. Yeah, he did. He did take Melvin Gordon. Yeah, he took LaShawn McCoy and Melvin Gordon. So I would think he's got to go receiver.
Yeah, got him.
So Timmy, where are we on that cup of water? No. Okay. I'll have to send out a call for my cup of water.
Yeah.
It's empty.
Phone a friend?
I can't phone a friend. I have to look. I'm looking at our draft.
You don't have any.
I'm looking at the draft board for my. Oh, that's a funny 5th grade comeback there, Tim. Very good. He's got 6 seconds, by the way. And upon further review, as the clock ticks down, Demaryius Thomas. All right, I did call wide receiver. All right, I'll open this one up for the entire panel. How good is this Broncos offense this year? I mean, how do you buy into Marcus Simeon as the starter or no? Or where did I get Marcus Simeon from?
Marcus Mariota?
No, I think I may have morphed the 2 together. That's where I got it from. Thank you. All right, it's Trevor Simeon. Thank you very much. Do you buy into him much this year or no?
Simeon or Simeon?
Simeon, the Northwestern legend, John. There you go. Joe, do you buy into that at all? I mean,
I don't. All you got to really worry about is making sure you guys
so like game manager quarterback would kind of be the way that could help them get into that wild card. I think it's still safe to say that the Raiders are going to take the West as the division, right? As long as Derek Carr stays healthy. Alshon woo! That's Bears legend Alshon Jeffrey to you.
better hope he stays healthy.
Well, that's what Demaryius Thomas. He's already questionable going into the regular season with that pick.
Hell, even if Demaryius Thomas is healthy, how good is the Broncos offense? It's not any good. It's not good enough to win.
Do you think? Okay, but here's the question: do you think it's good enough for a wild card spot though, like around a 9-17 possibly, even with that defense? No.
No, I think it's sad because that defense is hella good, but I think other teams are going to beat him out.
I love how he just said that defense is hella good. Wow. So as we go into the fourth round, is DeAndre Hopkins now off the board to Big Lou? Man, you're taking some of these big names here, Big Lou. Tom Brady, DeAndre Hopkins. Boy, you are taking the superstar names. You mean to tell me that you're not? You mean big name Antonio Gates is not going to be your guy? That's a shame. I think we found our pick of the night too early. All right, so Ezekiel Elliott finally goes off the board. I was waiting to see how long it was going to take. I didn't want to jinx it.
It's actually later than I
Brett Anderson takes Ezekiel Elliott off the board. Well, here's the thing about that, though. We know the talent that is Ezekiel Elliott. At the same time, though, as we've just said, you ain't going to have him for 6 or 7 weeks or however long his suspension is officially going to be. That's I don't want to say it's gutsy. You're really banking on every other person you're drafted to do well in his absence. It should be, yeah.
You gotta make it there, man. Yeah.
It should be top 4, especially with 10 teams, unless you want to do like the 8-team format for 10 teams, because that'd be really fun, right?
Yeah.
You know, like those 3 and 9 teams making the playoffs. Because that makes or what is it, 3 and 10? Let's not. We're not talking about the Giants. We ain't talking about no stinking G-man. Please. Stop talking now.
Elliott actually went later.
Here's the thing too about it. This is the time in these middle rounds, 4 through maybe we'll say 7 at the latest, that this is when Ezekiel was going to go. Let's get rid of the fact that he's not suspended. This never happened. He's first pick. I mean, there's no debate about that at all. But as we just heard from Alex Reed, he just took Ty Montgomery off the board.
I didn't take time.
Oh, no, you took Ty Montgomery, looking over at you. Okay. Isaiah Crowell, maybe the only good offensive thing Cleveland has this year.
Interesting.
And Michael Crabtree.
Steve Weekly just took my
Why is Stephen Weekly really looking at a magazine from like 7 years ago? I mean, Stephen, what are you doing, buddy? I love you, man. What are you doing?
Crabtree is my 19th receiver.
Is that on your big board, or what are you?
This is on my wide receiver board.
Marshawn Lynch off the board.
Finally.
Steve Suff, our guy Steve Suff takes him off the board.
Kelsey.
And Travis, wow, he didn't take. And Tony Guzman did not take too long with that one, taking Travis Kelce.
I want TJ Hushmanzada.
I'm just more impressed that he said that right the first time with the pronunciation of his name really quick.
Let's go. T.O.'s got it. Come on.
You need to stop talking.
I'm balling, baby.
Cam Newton. And that's where you go on in and dab on that one. Cam Newton is off the board. That one's for you, Pete Ferrer, if you're watching at home. So Cam Newton goes to Team Kevin Brown, KB, taking Kevin Brown, or he's taking Cam Newton. Kevin Brown took him. But as we begin round 5, we'll get back to a lot more of these picks and more rounds as we're just getting started here in the 2017 Illinois Media School Lombard Campus Fantasy Football Draft. We'll talk to some more on our panel. Alex Reed, Joe Alba, John Kahn, Big Lou, Tim Helms, our director. I'm Ryan Fay. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes here on the Illinois Media School Facebook Network.
I'm one of the instructors here at Illinois Media School. I've been teaching here at the school since 2010, as a matter of fact, between Lombard and Chicago campuses. I teach radio. I work nights at 100.3 WSHE in Chicago, and I've been in the radio industry 27 years. 17 of those 27 as a station program director and operations manager, which means I hired people that came out of schools like this one. Unfortunately, places that I've been, I haven't been near schools like this. So I've had to go to places like Dunkin' Donuts and say, hey, you have a personality. Would you like to try radio? So this is definitely the place to come. It's going to prepare you for absolutely everything that you need to know about the broadcast industry. We're talking radio, television, web, podcasting, absolutely everything. I keep in touch with all of my students that I've had in my classes since 2010 on Facebook and social media, and I love seeing all of the success stories. In fact, I work downtown Chicago with several graduates from this program. So get in touch with the school and take advantage of it. Make it your career. Do it now. I'm Rob Rose, nights on 100.3 WSHE in Chicago, and I am IMS.
I finally got the draft board up. Thank Jesus.
Actually, there
So
weren't
I
any
think-
picks since you
I
left.
think I may have figured it out.
Dalvin Cook.
Let me know when you get
Wow.
the
I got the board. But it was
Dalvin
gonna be the same thing.
Cook.
Flash when you updated.
Interesting.
So here,
Greg Olsen.
let's log back into that.
I know this one's not gonna do it. You have the commercial on.
I know, they stole my thunder with taking Kareem Hunt.
That's gone?
Hunt's gone.
Dalvin Cook. That's a good pick. That is a good pick.
Come on over so I can see.
Yeah, that's what I like. And I saw McKinnon in there a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna take much.
McKinnon's gonna be making
Yeah, he's not specialty plays. Murray's still trying to bounce back. I remember what I did. Greg Olsen, huh?
It's a good pick. Calvin Benjamin off the list now. Wow. Interesting.
Some of these picks are like straight.
Ooh, I can't believe you just picked them like that, man.
Oh, but I did. I worked picks by rounds. Yeah.
Alright. Well then here, alright, can you still pull it up on there though?
Yeah.
Because then I'll just look at this in the meantime. I'll shift it over. So
You might want to make it big. And I have it here.
Oh, God.
Joe
He's back.
Mixon. Really?
welcome on back into the Illinois Media School 2017 Lombard Campus Fantasy Football Draft from our campus here in Lombard, Illinois. I'm Ryan Fay. I'm your host of this Fantasy Football Draft. We've had some picks that have, they have been some picks. I mean, we still won't forget Antonio Gates from earlier on here today. Because, boy, that was something, wasn't it?
Don't hate the brother.
Yeah, that's a don't hate the. I don't know if that's don't hate the player or hate the game, but I mean that was something. We have the draft board up that you'll see in just a moment here on your screen. I even have it up for myself. We'll have an update throughout the night or so. Just to highlight some of the picks while we were on break. Carlos Hyde, Dalvin Cook. Wow, that's a Florida State guy. You're going after him, John Conn. All right. Joe Mixon from Paid in Full. That's Big Lou, right? You're Paid in Full? Why didn't you should have put that in as a hashtag Paid in Full, like all in one. Like, why didn't you? I don't know. I'm a little surprised by that, to be honest. Who took Keenan? Kevin Brown took Keenan Allen. That sounds like a nursery rhyme. Kevin Brown took Keenan Allen. Sounds like it just flows off the tongue like that, does it not? No? All right, so as this goes, Derrick Henry. So you're, all right, so, well, here. Backup running. Can we say backup for him, or is he, is he a third down guy in Tennessee with Marcus Mariota this year?
No, he's pretty much backed up.
Pretty much backup, so we're still going to go on the limb that, I don't want, maybe not limb, but we're still considering DeMarco Murray that third down back.
It's a matter of time before they give Derrick Henry more touches.
Right, okay.
If he gets
How about more red zone touches? Do we see that out of Henry this year? Maybe more red zone touches?
10 touches a game he gets.
Right.
Murray ran into the touchdown, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. So,
Against the Bears?
that is correct. Yeah.
Wasn't it Murray?
I think it was. Well, anybody that played the Bears had a hell of a fantasy day, no? Or,
Wilson and Fitzgerald. Wow.
and that's our admissions coordinator, David Walsh. I can't really say anything bad about his team so far because they actually haven't been bad picks. Especially in the order he's picked them in. Like, he's waited this long to take Russell Wilson. I believe that's his second quarterback, if my math was correct on that one a little bit earlier on. But as you look at Alex Reed, you're back on the clock here. You just took a running back. What are we looking here, bud? I mean, it's going to be, let's see what you do here. You only got about a few seconds left, by the way.
I got 45.
Yeah, that's a few seconds in my mind. I'm just saying. That sounds like it's only a few seconds, so. And if anybody wants to get involved on the conversation as well throughout our fantasy football conversation, use the hashtag IMSFantasyFootball that you see on your screen. That could even include the panel out here if they want to make fun of me. And then Timmy Helms tries to make jokes like that just ruin his reputation. So as Alex Reed is winding down his final picks here, as we are in the 6th round of drafting, Jordan, you picked the guy that has the same last name as you. Now, I'm going to ask a cousin question that has nothing to do with Timmy Holmes. So you guys cousins at all or no? No? No affiliation?
No.
Jordan, Alex?
No.
That's a darn shame. And Timmy Holmes is trying to throw something at me. How about that? Either way, so now we look back on the board right now. Big Lou back on the clock, who just took Joe Mixon, the running back for the Cincinnati Bengals, who was the Oklahoma standout, but has had some off-the-field issues, though. I said some. I didn't say it was a big. I'm not saying he's not a bad talent on the field. But if you get rid of that off-the-field issue, maybe he's a higher draft pick. Maybe a couple rounds. I'm not saying he's a top back, but it could be in that second class of running backs.
I think he's a mid-late first round pick.
Really, mid-late? That's. What do you think, Joe? You think mid-late? You think say you get rid of Mixon's off-the-field issues and say that didn't happen? Is he that worthy of a pick?
Well, considering he's not the starting running back, and
Because that's the other thing you got to think of. Because it's Jeremy Hill. That's the other thing.
he's out. Yeah, but then you also
Yeah, but you also have Giovanni Bernard.
a few weeks.
Tyreek Hill.
Damn it. Oh.
To the disgust of Joe Albert. And Lou stands, he's just standing up proud about that. Backwards cap it all, Big Lou. There you go, my man. He's going to come around and put the headset. He's coming around and put the headset on now. All right, so I want to quickly steer away from this since we got Big Lou on the headset. And I'll make sure his mic's on.
That's a gussy pick.
AP goes to Brett Anderson's team. Lou, I want to talk some Bears with you really quickly in the meantime. We know there's no progress for playoffs or anything. This is kind of that quote-unquote rebuild mode for them. What progress are you looking for from this team in any phase this year?
Well, the defense. We hope the defense steps up. They went and got the secondary, so spent some money, corners, safeties, So hopefully that picks up with them. And actually, they look pretty good right now. D-line is a little hectic. I think they're soft linebacker-wise. But they should be all right. Offense, we're getting better. I think it's going to be a more run first. Everybody wants Trubisky to start. He's not going to start. They paid too much money for Glenn. Not the least try him out. I don't care how. So if he loses 3 or 4 games, yeah, he's going to come in. But right now, we're just going to go with Glennon taking over.
And that's kind of going to lead to my next question about this real quick. As you see on the board that some of the picks continue to go as Martavius Bryant coming off the board to Team John Conn Jr. Where are you on the Mitch Trubisky bandwagon on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being you hate him and 10 being he's a better quarterback than Tom Brady ever would be.
I got him like a 6.
6?
Just for the
That's
simple
pretty
fact
close.
that
6 isn't bad, actually. 6 isn't bad.
just for the simple fact of he looked like his growth and progress will be good. But like you said, he's not used to taking from under the center. So that's a big change for him. Like I said, the speed is a lot faster than college. So the end's coming. So you got to make sure that tackle's there for him. But like I said, I give him a year. He's not scared. His accuracy is a little better than I thought it was, and we can kind of see why they wanted him. I still think they gave up too much for him, but I mean,
Well, would you say the jury's still out on that part of it for right now? Because from what we've seen in the preseason, it hasn't been the worst, but it's certainly obviously not, oh my God, this is amazing. Why isn't he starting week 1? He's showing why he's a first-round pick.
Yeah, I can understand that point, but just it was a lot they gave up for him. So
Hopefully,
hopefully he pans out. And like I said, he get to prove it. If they're week 5, week 6, and they got a couple bad losses, because I think, like I said, with that run game, Glennon just has to do enough to win the game. So, I look at it more further that way.
I like that. Meanwhile, Jarvis Landry taken off the board by Stephen Weekly, who that may be his first logical pick of the night. Fends up for that one.
I like Ronnie Parker better, I'll be honest.
Jameis Winston goes to Steve Suff. Jamison Crowder to Tony Guzman. Kevin Brown goes back-to-back with Martellus Bennett and Devontae Adams. Wow, he really went all Green Bay-ish on that one.
Yeah, he did go Green Bay. That's
So he's taking the entire Green Bay offense right now. Tony Guzman back on the board, followed by
What's he gonna do for bye week?
Stephen Weekly. So, thank you, sir. Appreciate you joining the headset crew as you'll go back and you get ready for the rest of your picks throughout the night. We'll get John Conn on the headset a little bit later on as well. As Tony Guzman on the clock, Devontae Adams, the most recent pick to go. Derek Carr. David's the older brother that played for the Giants, right? Was it the Giants? Texans, thank you.
And he did back up with the Giants.
He did with the Giants. Okay, that's what I thought. See, I was right.
I
didn't argue with you.
And then just like that, Brandon Marshall goes to blunt force trauma. And that's kind of funny that the team name of blunt force trauma has Brandon Marshall on his team. Irony, no? Now Stephen Weekly back on the clock. John Conn got the joke about 5 seconds too late. And the first defense off the board, the Broncos defense and special teams. Man, what is Stephen Weekly doing out in, where does he live again? Is he in?
The Sticks, yeah.
Okay, the Sticks. Those are not my words. They are Alex Reed, his co-host's words,
No,
not mine.
That's actually Steven's words. Funny enough.
Okay, well, I'm just saying I did not make those words up. John Conn, you're on the clock there, bud. First defense taken off the board. What you feeling over there, backwards cap? You can't rock it like Big Lou, so don't even try. And he takes Jimmy Graham, Seahawks tight end. Where do you guys stand on Jimmy Graham, by the way, with that Seahawks offense? Came over last year, or came over not 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And everybody thought that was the most stacked team in the
Well,
NFL.
the first year was not good for Jimmy Graham, but the second year was.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. Last year was statistically.
It was better. I don't know if it was great, but it was better.
But it wasn't Drew Brees, dude.
No.
No.
I don't think Jimmy Graham would ever get those kind of numbers anymore. But I think some production out of Jimmy Graham is obviously better than none. But if he can get you, say 600 yards, a few touchdowns, that's not bad for what that Seahawks offense does provide.
Yeah, but you're not in fantasy. You're not looking.
Well, no, you're not looking for that.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you're looking for a quality tight end that may be your backup, you're asking for something that's not bad.
Danny Amendola. LOL.
And Bilal Powell, Joe Albert, you take. Jets running back, because that may be the only good thing the Jets have this year. Because they're playing for 2018.
923 yards.
What do you have?
Jimmy Graham had 923 yards, 6 touchdowns.
That's not terrible.
Which is modest for tight end.
Yeah. I mean, that's the upper class of tight ends, because as we all know, the tight end class in the NFL is, there's a few, and then there's everybody else. So, Joe, you picked the only valuable thing off the Jets this year, because they're going to probably go 1-15, if not 0-16. And they will have the first pick in the NFL draft.
Powell that's on?
Mm-hmm. If you would watch the board and look at your phone. You need to put your glasses on.
Maybe I need cheaters. I don't know.
You need cheaters. Didn't we discuss we were going to have somebody? Now you're on the shot of the. Now you're in the way of the board.
I'm going to just crawl down.
You gotta crawl down.
You're still on the screen.
He is gone.
We could see your arms on the screen right there. Right?
Should I move?
Yes. Jeez.
Yeah, let me see.
John.
You ever do a fantasy football draft live before? Actually, no, you haven't. So yeah, but either way, Brett Anderson up on the clock now. And you can, by the way, if you look on your phone, there's a list that shows who's been recently taken.
Oh, okay.
But either way.
Cool. Yes.
So Anderson's still on the clock.
Danny Woodhead.
And he takes Danny Woodhead. You know, the Ravens they've been an interesting story, though, in the offseason, have they not? I mean, nobody knew what Joe Flacco's status was going to be coming into training camp in the preseason. The rumblings of Colin Kaepernick possibly signing.
Emmanuel Sanders.
And Emmanuel Sanders, Big Lou, he just minded his own business back there. And
Gutsy pick, man. I'll tell
well,
you.
he's got it at his paper roll. He's got his marker. He's ready to go.
That's a gutsy pick.
He's ready to
I'll
go.
tell you that much.
Well
Not,
done.
not that I haven't made gutsy picks all day.
I mean, Leonard Fournette. in the first round.
That's not. I mean, that's not terrible. So now with the.
I'm not saying.
It's not Stephen.
With the-
It's not Jordan.
Well, that's very true. No, yeah, I agree.
It's not a
Yeah.
bad pick, it's just a questionable pick for the first
You got started on the day, you said everybody close, so. What's that?
So Adam's 300 top, the 69th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Get your head on the
And we're just gonna move on, but Alex, you just giggle. David Green in the wings. David Walsh should say in the wings. Lombard Green Storm is his team name. Love how I'm combining a lot of people here with their team names and just morphing their name as one.
Yeah, you won't allow mine to be on there.
I can't.
Kinda hurtful.
I can't really say your name on there. I'm sorry.
Black bar
Nah. We'll let people figure it out for the viewers that see it on their screen. We'll let them figure it out. I don't feel comfortable saying it, Tim. So I just don't.
Not my fault if it gets tagged. That's his fault. He chose it.
So we're blaming Joe for what's ever put on the stream. Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah.
He chose the name.
So Mark Ingram off the board, and that concludes round number 7. So as we move on to the 8th round, Kyle Rudolph, the not red-nosed reindeer. Back-to-back picks, Mark Ingram, Kyle Rudolph, and Alex Reed. You are back on the clock, my friend. In air quotes.
Like a little
So Willie Snead.
Big Willie Snead. Actually, he's not that big.
Need for Sneed.
I got a need.
Is that going to be your team name? Need for Snead?
Need for Snead. I mean, maybe.
I mean, it's possible. I'm just saying, it could be. But now, Big Lou, that'll put you back on the clock. Thank you, Tim Helms, for walking on through. We appreciate your hard work here tonight.
Reed hasn't finished yet.
Oh, they you were taking Willie Snead. No?
Chill the heck out.
You did already.
Oh, well then. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm looking at it now. So the 8th round. Okay, I have the round number mixed up. I'm looking at the board differently from how I'm used to it.
Look, if you
in the past.
didn't scroll up all the way, so you cut the round
And
off.
then here's Timmy Helms giving direction.
That too.
So as we begin going into the 8th round, as we are now at the halfway point of the 2017 Illinois Media School Lombard Campus Fantasy Football Draft, I'm Ryan Fay with you here on our Illinois Media School Facebook network. Alongside the panel that is here in attendance tonight for it is Ben Roethlisberger.
Wow.
Off the board in the 8th round. That man who took him, Alex Reed, is in the building tonight. Alongside Joe Albert, John Kahn Jr., Big Lou Henry, and our director, Timmy Helms. Boy, that's a gutsy pick. Like,
Really
that
gutsy.
is...
I know. Yep.
Why Big Ben, though? I'm curious. Why...
Man, as long as he stays healthy, he throws that offense. Look,
The
that's,
question is
Yeah, no, I was about to say that.
He
Hey,
hasn't been healthy the
take your
last
damn
3
shots, man. Ben Roethlisberger is such a good name on that. That's a tantalizing name up there. Any given day, he can throw for 500
That's a
yards.
good name, but it's also.
He can throw for 500 yards
On any given day?
Any given day, he could throw for 300, 400.
I don't know about that.
He could win you a game or two. That's what you want out of your bench.
Meanwhile, C.J. Anderson and Allen Robinson off the board for Lou Henry and Brett Anderson.
CJ Anderson.
I'd be pretty happy. with
Allen
that.
Robinson, pay attention in the back. Now that brings up the team name I won't say, and Joe Albert. Now, did you pick any Texans players yet or no? So you're not picking J.J. Watt every time he'll get a random touchdown in like week 7?
I'm gonna have to do that now because you keep talking about it.
Ah, see, there you go. See, I'm a man of the people. That's why.
Yeah, you're kind of screwing me. Then.
Well.
Nobody's gonna pick him yet. So.
Yet is the key word, though.
Yeah, do I gamble another round or do I go ahead and take him?
Well, that's
That's
your decision, not mine.
I don't have a quarterback yet, so.
Well, you're on the quarterback. So Marcus Mariota off the board. Kind of a safe pick.
Not a bad pick, man.
Touchdown to interception ratio, very good. Doesn't make many mistakes. I will say I like that pick in the 8th round.
What was it in college? He had a 25-2 touchdown to interception
Yeah,
in his senior year.
yeah.
At
That's
Oregon.
what led him. It's what led him to the national championship that year. I mean, it was a heck of a season for him.
Too. He threw 2 interceptions and 25 touchdowns. That was a really good ratio.
So that
He carried that over to.
and that brings up Delaney Walker, back-to-back Titans off the board. Who I would say Delaney Walker is probably that very underrated tight end. Can we agree on that possibly? Is he like that just outside that top 5 tight end?
Here's my question: is Jimmy Graham and Delaney Walker starting on this team? Week 1.
Oh, both of them? No, I don't think.
Oh yeah, I just realized you took 2 tight ends.
I
As I
did.
look at the board right now.
I did. Some days maybe I'll go with 2 tight ends. Who knows?
So you're going to be really heartbroken if you put one in there and then the other's got like a 2 touchdown day and has like 98 yards receiving.
You can play both of them as a flex.
You could. You play one of the flex.
You could. But do you though with 2?
Gives you options.
It's
And not everybody stays healthy.
Jimmy Graham. Sorry to say.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
It was either him or Eifert, but Eifert
Well, you know, and that's another strategy here about fantasy football too. Is that sure you may like the certain guy, or I'm rooting for him maybe to come my way, maybe the 8th round, 9th, or 10th round.
It wouldn't be as big of
But
a
you
deal.
don't want to have a team that has everybody on a bye week in week 9 or week 10, whatever
In my
the case
first
would
draft,
be.
I have 5 players in week 9. And
Well, congratulations, John Conn Jr. You played yourself.
That just means you're going to lose week 9. And you'll be
No, watch that actually probably be his best week somehow. Be the polar opposite of what everybody would think. So Sammy Watkins off the board, and now the country concert going Steve Sufferton has taken the Seahawks defense. So the two teams from Super Bowl 48 off the board, and just like that, Devontae Parker, which John Conn was saying is probably the better Dolphins wide receiver this year
Jay Cutler
in Miami.
likes him. Jay Cutler likes him.
also like Jarvis Landry.
That's my next question. When is Jay Cutler off the board?
Undrafted in the 15th round.
13th round?
13th, we're thinking? Okay, so towards the end. Okay. So Devontae Parker off the board, so Finn's up for that.
He's a good bye week quarterback.
Jay Cutler. Not Mitch Trubisky.
No.
No.
Because I don't think he's actually going to start this year.
Not at all this year. All right, question for everybody here. Does Mitch Trubisky start at all this year? Joe says no. Alex?
I think he might start the last 3 games of the year.
Why would you
When the season's kind of in the toilet as it is and it's been flushed?
If it gets that far.
Okay. All right, John?
I am going to go with week 9. That's the bye week. They're going to make the change to the bye week.
All right. And I know we talked to Lou about it earlier, Lou.
They're losing 5-6. 56 wins, 36 weeks.
Those first 4 weeks
Yeah.
are not
So let's start. So everybody's got their own little vision for how Mitch could handle it.
Week 5, though, Monday Night Football against Minnesota. I don't know if that's the call up
If
there.
you,
I think they could
That's
win.
worldwide.
That'd be a
That would be good TV.
I say they
That's
could
TV, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you lose him, why are you going to waste him this year?
Ooh, I just saw Jay Prescott. Don't.
Just go ahead and let
Dak
him
Prescott,
be.
idiot pick.
And then next year, when you get another high round draft pick, then hold on to this one instead of trading up.
That's true.
And get a receiver to team with him.
So Dak Prescott and Coach Saul. There were some people like to call him Pierre Gargan. That's an off the board. Don't give me that look. You know you screwed that up on Thursday. Don't give me that. Look back. So Kevin Brown, Prescott, and Saul. And Tony Guzman, Tevin Coleman, who John Conn, before even the draft got started, was kind of all in on Tevin Coleman. Well, you not.
I do like Tevin Cole. I drafted him in one of my other
I
leagues.
just think it's too split between him and Freeman. They like both of those guys.
This late in the
That's the best problem for Atlanta.
Here's a stat for you. Both players had the same amount of weeks with at least 10 points. They had 13 weeks. Both.
That's why I give you a multi relationship.
Yeah.
Now, granted, if you have them both, then you're really in that big thing. Because say you got a right back, you want to if you like their matchup against a certain defense. It's kind of one of those friends.
A kicker is off the board.
Justin Tucker.
Steve Sufferton. All right, where's this camera?
So,
Where's Crowder? Where's Steve? All right, Steve Sufferton.
70 something. Matt Bryant.
What is going on here?
Wow.
Who's Matt Bryant? Who is that?
It's a kicker for Atlanta.
There it is. Oh, thank you very much.
I'm just saying,
Wow.
who is he? You can read next to his name. It says kicker Atlanta.
It doesn't say that on here. The recent picks section, it doesn't
All right,
say.
relax the hostility, everybody. Relax the hostility.
Let's keep it simple.
I don't even know.
I'm a little surprised that we got 2 kickers in the 9th.
That is.
Wow. I mean, defenses are one thing, but kickers? I think Stephen Weekly went with the trend. Oh, wait, people are taking kickers now? We're going to take a kicker. Run out of time.
No, he said.
And Kirk Cousins, we just talked about him not too long ago.
Damn it.
Kirk Cousins is here we go, just like this. And there's Joe Allen with Texas defense. We'll talk about that later. Stephon Diggs goes to Team Brett Anderson. Now they move on the clock. Those were 2 quick picks there. Oh.
Yes, lose a little upset.
It's like lose a little upset about it.
Hey, Is that me, man? I'm doing
I love the Texans.
They were on my butt.
With Watt healthy, I think that's the biggest defense you have to get this year. Because the Texans will be by far the biggest threat for anybody.
So we got
Lou taking Zach Ertz. Each tight end. Who he could maybe surprise a little bit this year. Possibly on the decline on the radar for sure.
Better years. He's a better years for like 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, the Eagles obviously used what they did 2 years ago. So, I mean, they could use everything in that. So you're good for you on being on the route train. And Frank Gore, you went against what you said, Alex Reed, that there's no good running game from the Colts, but you take Frank Gore?
How old is he?
Maybe as old as Stephen Weekly.
I think
He's all the freaking Colts have though, man. I'm betting.
This is what against everything you said, though. You hypocriticalized yourself. That's even
Look,
more.
That's not, but it's okay.
It sounds good.
But yeah.
So as random comp goes off the board, David Walsh and Amir Abdullah. So that puts us in the 10th round right now. And we will get to the latter stages of this 2017 Illinois Media School Fantasy Football Draft live here on our Lombard campus here in Lombard, Illinois. We'll be right back with more of this Fantasy Football Draft picks, and we will wrap up our draft here tonight from the Lombard campus right here on the IMS Facebook Network.
Hi, my name is Peyton Adams. I work for US 99.5 in Chicago. And the reason I came to the Illinois Media School to be a teacher was because I didn't have a mentor growing up in the business, I should say. I did a lot of learning on my own, kind of going out there in the world and just exploring and learning as I go. When I got my first radio job, I really didn't know anything. It was just a learning curve from there. And I had a few people help me along the way, but I felt like this would be a great place for me to come and utilize my skills and my talents to help these students get to the next level. I love to be here. I love to be a part of their daily activities and help them and guide them and help them with editing, help them build their confidence and just really find who they are and find their voice and what they want to do. The students that attend here, it can be a mixture of anybody, fresh out of high school to somebody in their 50s. And that's what I like about it here, is that you get a mixture of everybody. You get people who are, young and eager and hungry, and people who have already had careers that kind of want to do what their dream is and live out their dreams. So the students here are driven, they're focused, they're ready, and they want it. And that's what I love so much about teaching here, is just seeing the creativity and hearing about what their ideas are and seeing what they do and what kind of projects they do. It's really a great environment for like-minded people that want to excel. And that's one thing that I noticed in all the students here, is they just really do a great job in grabbing the bull by the horns and going for it. So I really love that about working with them. My name is Peyton Adams. I work for US 99.5 on air, and I'm an instructor here at IMS, and I am IMS.
I got started at IMS. I think I heard a radio commercial. It was just all about media and broadcasting, and at the time I was DJing and I wanted to take it to the next step, and I wanted more people to hear what I was playing and my opinion on music. So I went out, emailed them, they're like, hey, come on, check out the campus and let's see what's going on. Found out that they actually had a radio there that I could DJ on, which was a great opportunity for me. They taught me how to just create a show. IMS really opened my eyes to producing your own show, and there's more to it than just playing music and DJing and mixing the songs in. You actually have to talk and create a show, entertain people, maybe talk about social media even. There's always stuff going on. IMS really helped me open my eyes to what a radio show is and how to promote myself. So all the teachers actually work in the industry, and they have so many contacts, so many things that you need to know that you just got to get out of them. They're always open to talking, always open to giving you information. letting you know what you need to do to get to the next step. Being one of the students, I thought one of the best things for me was how creative everyone was. Everyone had their own creative intake and input on projects. You get to work with groups, also you get to work alone, but with the group projects, each individual person had their own say on where would you shoot something, how would you record something, just the script, copy points. Like, people, you would really feed off of the other students. If you thought you were stuck or you just had no creativity on something, everyone would always help you out and kind of push you to the next level because, hey, you got to be the best. We're all out there trying to get a job in the broadcasting world, and the students really helped. My name's Mitch Titan. I work promotions at Star 105.5. I went to the Lombard campus, and I am IMS.
Well, I got started back in 2010. I was freelance sports writing for a couple different newspapers with the Sun-Times, and I wasn't really finding a permanent job, which is what I really wanted. And I would always hear those commercials on the radio about ICB, and I finally went in, and everyone was pretty welcoming. While I was there, all the instructors were very helpful, and it's just a great place to take advantage of their internships. I mean, you can get pretty much any internship you want if you put your mind to it. I know while I was there, I interned both at Comcast Sportsnet Chicago and at The Score, both at the same time. So they give you the options, but you need to work for it yourself. You can't just sit back and expect everything to come to you and everything to be served to you on a platter, because that's not how the world works and that's not how anywhere works. And although I still have a full-time job here at 23, I still like to get out and do broadcasts with IMS. Even this past summer and spring, spending time doing games for Aurora Borealis, because it's still good even though I'm doing this job in the studio, I'm stuck in the studio, I don't really still get those opportunities to go out and call soccer games, call whatever games, and still, even just, helping out current students that are there, they like to hear the advice from me, so I always like to still get out and do stuff like that. My name is Mike Buda. I'm the weekend sports anchor at Channel 23 News in Rockford, and I am IMS.
Welcome you back on into the Illinois Media School 2017 Fantasy Football Draft here live at our Lombard campus. I'm Ryan Fay, your host for this Fantasy Football Draft tonight. You see on your screen right now, there's Alex Reed picking something out of his mouth. And then there's John Kahn joining us on the headset, who just, as we get into the 11th round now of the draft, you took the Cardinals defense, and before you got on the headset, you seemed pretty darn proud of it.
Yeah, good value there. What were you, 10th round here? 11th? That's not bad.
Way to keep track.
For the Cardinals. And, I tend to get Arizona in all my drafts so far. The first two drafts, I have Arizona and Boswell in both. So it's always the same round. I mean, I could always take these other defenses a little sooner. I feel like they're all just kind of hit or miss.
All right, well, as we get into these latter stages of the 12th round is now underway. David Walsh, our admissions coordinator, leading off that 12th round. He ended the 11th with Jonathan Stewart, the running back out of the Carolina Panthers. And wait, before I get to you took Duke Johnson Jr. there, Mr. Reed, or? No, the auto pick excuse.
Do I need to put him back on the mic?
No. I mean, unless you want me to really publicly shame him, John. I mean, I've been doing that all night, so I'd maybe wait till round 15 to actually do that. But either way. And team, all right, you redeemed yourself a little bit picking the Patriots defense and special teams. Lou Henry on the clock now with the 113th pick in the 2017 Illinois Media School Lombard Campus Fantasy Football Draft. I want to thank everyone for joining us here on the IMS Facebook Network. I want to thank Brian Singelman being a recurring guest and a longtime laugher, first-time viewer. right? Is that for, at least for this it is.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
I lied, by the way. It's a basic contract. Well, we have somebody
Going fourth round for Antonio Gates, so no, you're still not that good. Although let's never forget, and I know the guys in the room here may not be aware of this. You're gonna know this story, Brian, from about I think it was 3 years ago. Tim, you should know this too. When we were able to host one of our drafts live on location, our old friend Chris Labasco as Eli Manning. You can't spell elite without Eli and Eddie Lacy go off the board. When Chris Labasco
Feast mode.
took Kelvin Benjamin, Panthers wide receiver. Oh, I got a great pick, guys, for great value. Although Labasco didn't know that he was out for the year with a torn ACL. I think it was a different year, Tim, but either way. But that was one of the greatest. That's the number one story from all of our drafts we've done here over the last few years. Was when Labasco took Benjamin when he had a torn ACL. We gave him every hint in the world. And you look on it too, and when you guys look at it on your sheets and on your phones, laptops, and whatever you're doing this for the draft, it'll tell you if somebody's suspended, questionable, probable, out. And it said out with that, that little asterisk for breaking news. The red O of death is, it's called in fantasy football. Are you sure, Chris? Are you sure you want to take that pick? What does Chris do? It's your last chance, and he thinks we're joking with him. Like, no, I want Kelvin. No, we're trying to tell you don't pick a guy with a torn ACL, Chris. And you picked him anyway. Moron. Doug Martin, meanwhile, off the board here in the 12th round of Team John Conn Jr. And now here comes Mr. Antonio Gates lover, Stephen Weekly.
Thank you. Thank you.
For once, he has that minimized. Thank you, Brian, for joining us, though. We appreciate the humor and the good times. So, Stephen Weekly up now with the 117th pick. Now, this is when those Mr. Irrelevant picks start to come into play here. You're going to get these guys that, I didn't think of that one. Antonio Gates is the prime example in the 4th round. So let's see. I think he's got what, 30 seconds left? Something like that? Antonio Gates should be going like now, not 8 rounds ago when we first basically started the stream. So as we wait the anticipation while he's not here tonight. What's that?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's a very likely. That's like. Well, Tim, the draft we did on Thursday. Did anybody? I don't remember anybody taking Antonio Gates. No.
I think they did towards the end.
Towards the very end. Okay.
He took Mike Wallace.
Mike. Oh boy.
Number.
Look it up. He's a deep threat.
So Mike Wallace out of the Ravens, wide receiver, goes to Stephen Weekly.
2 years ago?
Alex Reed is still trying to plead a case for something. I don't know what he's pleading about, but you do you. So now it's Steve Suff, who's at a concert. And no, it's not a Darius Rucker one or Lady Antebellum. I believe he said he was at Pentatonics tonight. At the Ravinia.
The Ravinia?
Ravinia, yeah, whatever. I read his message so quick, I didn't really bother to care where he was. No offense, but I just didn't really care. But Sufford, he was the first one, I believe, that took a kicker tonight, no? Or the second, no, yeah, because he took Justin Tucker. He took Justin Tucker in the 9th round. You don't usually take kickers in the 9th round, Steve, but hey, whatever, you do you. So let's look back as you see on your screen, for those tuning in on the IMS Facebook network, the recent picks from the last couple of rounds. I bet he's like jamming out at that concert. He's got his phone up, and he's like jumping up and down. He's like, wait, stop playing music. I got to make a pick right now. People are thinking he's taking like a Snapchat video of the concert. No, he's trying to do like a fantasy pick.
Matt Stafford.
That may have been a typo. Who knows? And LeGarrette, whoa, okay, this is going quick. So Matt Stafford goes to Steve Suff. Tony Guzman takes LeGarrette Blount. Kind of funny how LeGarrette Blount goes immediately after we talk about Steve Suff's team name. And then Kenny Britt and Adam Thielen off the board for Team KB, Kevin Brown. So as we now go into round 13 of the 16-round draft, Marvin Jones now gone. So the Tony Guzman picks have gone interesting. O.J. Howard and Zay Jones just like that. Man. And Lou Henry is not pleased. Wait, now were you looking at O.J. Howard? Or Jones, okay. Now, Tim, in our draft on Thursday, didn't O.J. Howard go in like the 5th round? He went early. He went pretty early in the draft we did on Thursday. You guys obviously don't.
I like Greg Olson because Greg Olson always puts up numbers. Always.
I had him on my team 2 years ago, and that was the year that he had, I think, 1,100 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns, something ridiculous.
Won't put up those numbers if he's hurt. And, I mean, any tight end that gets hurt isn't going to put up numbers.
Right. Well, that kind of goes for every position, doesn't it?
I wish it worked the other way.
Yeah, well.
This guy averages this, so you get to have it.
Yeah, so it's an automatic. You get like those consolation points. Like, yeah, he's hurt, but we'll give you this anyway.
We'll give you half of that.
Only in a perfect world for Joe Albert would that happen. That's not happening in this league, though, buddy. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Well, what can I tell you? So as we wait for John Kahn Jr. here, who's over on the headset making his pick.
No, I am not.
Yeah, you are. We just heard you talk. The audio levels were picked up, Tim, weren't they not? Yep, see, they were, see?
Uh-oh.
You're running out of time, I believe, no? I see the red dots coming up, and there they go. Tyler Eifert.
There you go. 3 tight ends.
You know what? I can't laugh at... Here's why I can't make so much fun at him for that one. Because... What happened? Oh, was it a screen? Oh.
Injury-prone tight ends? Yeah, I
Well... I mean, it's that, but there was a guy in my close friends league that I do every year. There was somebody that took 3 defenses and 2 kickers.
Really?
You want to talk about a bad fantasy team?
Yeah, that's too much time.
Well, here, I'm not done with the story. He did make it to the fantasy football championship in our league.
Did he really?
He lost to me.
I was going to say, was his name?
Put him in his place. I won by 60.
Holy crap. He tried to play all 3 defenses?
Well, this was
At the same time.
Yeah. Well, this was the year when, mind you, a couple years ago when you had you had a bunch of starting running backs go down. The emergence of David Johnson. I picked him up in waivers. You had the one for the Saints. No, not Spiller. No, it wasn't Ingram. Not Sproles. He was a clear back. I can't remember his name. It was like Montgomery something. No, it wasn't Montgomery. No, that's Ty Montgomery. But you know who I'm talking about, kind of. But he went off though in the final 4 weeks for them. And then I also had D'Angelo Williams on my team, who filled in for Le'Veon Bell when he got hurt. So I would put in my flex. I had 2 running backs, and my flex was the 3rd running back. I had 159 points that week. I was gold. And mind you, that wasn't the year we did. And that year we did not do PPR. Just put that in perspective. I was good. Was.
You were once good, now you are...
I was once a legend, and I will stay that way. Legacy will never be tarnished.
And now you
In my mind, yes. There you go. So as we go now into the 14th round, 3 rounds left. Jordan Matthews, Jason Witten lead off the 14th round. Now, I'm surprised we're not seeing that many kickers now in these rounds. It's a shame. This is when I expect all those kickers to go.
Everybody's already gone.
I know, that's what's disappointing about this draft. You guys took kickers so early.
Well, I mean, no,
I'm just generalizing, by the way, too. I'm
team, man. I'm going on my way down.
You're looking at the team needs, which is understandable.
Exactly.
It's just people usually don't have team needs like that until the 13th round. Or 14th.
Make sure I got a good defense.
Are you, Fahey, are you Team Chicago? Or are you not
I
in
am not.
this?
Well, here, when I made the league before we got started, I am a team. Tony Guzman is that team. I'm not in charge. I am an owner that has nothing to do with it.
What kind of sneaky...
Kind
So
of
you're
like the
GM.
Bears ownership. They don't do anything. So
You are a
know.
GM.
Yeah, I'm a GM that's not doing anything to the team.
You're the Ted Phillips.
Yeah, sounds about
the
right.
Operation.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything for it. Dan Bailey and Jack Doyle. Well, this is now the tight ends. So we've had 3 of the 5 picks now be tight ends. The backup ones, I'm assuming, for your teams, right? Okay, well, I'm just making sure. I was say you're not going to start Austin Hooper over Greg Olson. I just like saying the last name like Hooper. Hooper. Wendell Smallwood goes to Team John Kahn. And Rashard Matthews.
So we're doing 6.
Stephen Weekly has by far had the most interesting draft I have ever seen out of anybody in the 4 years I've done this.
Do you think he's really even if he cares though, or if he's just doing it just to see?
Well, here, you know what? When you guys do your show next week, just go after him pick by pick, Alex, and see how serious he gets about him. That's all.
Okay, yeah.
Especially with Antonio Gates in the 4th round, you have to lead off with that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, good.
Well, then the number 4 pick with Jordan Howard.
By the way, really quickly, just to do the math here, we have 23 picks left to go in our fantasy football draft here tonight.
This flew by.
It did. We are just hour and 10 minutes into it.
Hey, you can't forget
What's up, Tim?
the mess of draft Rick Camp had, 2 years ago?
Oh, yeah, when I drafted Rick Camp's team and I did it bad on purpose. And he made it to the playoffs.
What'd you do?
Who was the first? I don't remember who.
He picked defense first round.
No. I wasn't that bad. No. I took.
Oh my God!
I took
a
the.
concussed Tyrod Taylor just went.
Oh.
Adam Vinatieri.
And then Giovanni Bernardo, we talked about earlier too, now off the board.
Literally.
Oh, Tim, it's killing me. Who is? We're gonna have to really go back and find out who I picked. I think the Bears backup.
It is
Oh no!
in our archive.
2nd round pick, Marion Barber. That's who I picked for him
Marion Barber.
when he was the Bears backup. Yeah, in his last year with the Bears.
Ooh,
I remember now. That's what it was.
that is a rough one.
Didn't he have 2?
His first year, he was horrible.
I thought he had 2 years though. Well,
In one of our.
there's so many names that have come and gone, Joe. I mean, come on.
He's in the Sports Town archives.
We'll have to look for that then.
Kevin White just was drafted.
Well, I mean, that's the only Bears wide receiver that's, I guess,
That's-
healthy at the moment.
Thomas Rawls.
I mean, that I wouldn't really sleep on Thomas Rawls though.
That was a weekly pick. There you go.
Wow,
He's 1 on the depth chart there, though.
so 1 out of 15 picks I will agree with on for Stephen Weekly.
Cooper Kupp. Who the fuck is that?
Cooper Kupp.
Do you?
I believe he
is
is
the
a.
rookie out of.
Oh, fins up, Jake Cutler. It happened.
Matt Prater next.
I wish we had a camera on Pete right now.
I know.
Well, he'll text us reactions later and just go fins up. And then Matt Prater also off the board for Team Anderson, Brett Anderson. Now, Lou, you've got 2 picks left, buddy. I heard Robbie Gould is still available. Mitch Trubisky. I mean,
There you go.
we only got 13 picks left, guys. So, I mean, we got to. Where's he going? Everybody in this room still has a chance to pick him.
Who?
Mitch Trubisky. Are you not paying attention?
I
You
want-
got the headset on. You can't hear everything I'm saying? Or you don't want to hear it?
I apologize.
Yeah, you should. That's what I'm thinking it was, yeah.
No, I'm kicker. I'm in kicker mode, so that's why I didn't pay attention
take-
to
well,
your.
don't take
your
2 kickers.
quarterback Talk.
Well, please don't take 2 kickers.
I only have
4
one,
defenses, 3
one
tight
pick
ends,
left.
2 kickers, 1 quarterback.
Damn playoffs too.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the best part, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, well, Lou Henry taking his time over there. Minding his own business. Nice effect there, Tim. Through the eyes of the viewer.
Supposed to be a football.
That was. I'll give you. You know what? That was an A for effort. Try that again. Actually, I kind of want to see it on the monitor now. Okay, all right. That's not bad. That actually wasn't bad. Now that I look at it a second time. And ooh,
Tariq Cohen.
that pick put me back to the wall. You know what? No. Here's the thing. In training camp, I was down at training camp for one day. And one day I saw him. He may be able to prove something. He's not starting, but he would be a quality backup for this team. Special teams.
Well, he's gonna be Darren Sproles Jr. He's gonna be in the backfield on 3rd down.
I would hope so.
He's playing with the leaders. He gets
Meanwhile, Sterling Shepard and the Steelers defense off the board, and we begin the final round of the 2017 Illinois Media School Fantasy Football Draft. Sebastian Janikowski. You can't not have a draft without Sebastian Janikowski. And Alex Reed, your final pick of the night, Mitch Trubisky. No one did, even though I tried to convince Chen to do so. I tried. Although what was nice about that was I was able to come around every time you guys made a pick and hound you for it. This time I got a podium now and I can just stare you all down, which is nice. And I like tonight. I hosted that one on Thursday. I was not as sick as I was either. So. Are you doing fantasy football this week? Yeah, my one league that I do with my friends. Yeah. Again, I am not controlling the team that is in bold over here. Okay. That is good. Mohamed Sanu. Well, yeah. Oh, fantasy. Oh, I thought you were saying I'm going to play golf on Sundays. That's why I'm not doing as many fantasy teams. No. Oh. Well, I told you now. I'm shooting in the 80s now. I'm feeling good.
I'm still shooting low.
Is this what?
Is this a keeper league?
No. No. Mr. Irrelevant Picks may be coming off of Big Lou. Or Cameron Meredith. Hey, don't forget him.
There was a draft I was in, and Quincy Anunwa was taken, and he is out for the year.
And Kenny Stills and the Panthers. Wow, the Panthers defense went in the 16th round. That's actually pretty good. Good pick there for Team Anderson. Carlos Santos, kicker for Joe Albert, so he's done picking for the night. John Kahn, you're the last person in this building to have the pick. Everybody else that is doing it off their phones or laptops somewhere else. He goes Chris Boswell as the monitor sets to go to sleep. There we go. Chris Boswell, Corey Coleman. Man, what is... All right, Stephen Weekly's got like the D- draft here, does he not? I mean... I'm only giving him a D. I would give him an F, but I like the pick in the 15th round that he made for Thomas Rawls. So Jeremy Hill now off the board for Steve Suff, so he's done. Now he can go back to his concert raving for Pentatonics.
I think he was still paying attention to the concert anyway. So.
Well, it's Steve. We don't know. And then James Conner and the Jaguars defense ends it. So the 16 rounds here for the IMS 2017 Fantasy Football Draft has come to an end. And what are you guys arguing about? That's the first round, guys. We went to the top of the page. David Johnson was the first overall pick. Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown followed. And then that fourth round happened with... I don't want to talk about that. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't even want to look at that. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's even worse. I was wrong. If we can go back to that third round, if we go back to the board, third round. What? He took Antonio Gates in the third round. And we were saying fourth. We thought that was bad. 3 is even worse. Wow. All right. Well, here before we sign off here tonight here from the IMS Lombard campus, I want to thank everybody who tuned in on our IMS Facebook network to watch this here tonight. I want to thank all of the players for this fantasy draft who aren't here tonight, but they made the effort to make sure they got on their phones, got on their laptops, tablets, whatever they did to make sure they got on the draft on time and picked for all 16 rounds. Especially want to give a thanks to the guys that were here in the building tonight. Lou Henry, John Kahn Jr., Alex Reed, and Joe Alba. Guys, give yourselves a round of applause, please. Well done picking. You guys did not pick Antonio Gates in the third round. For my director, Timmy Helms, I'm Ryan Fay, signing off. This has been the 2017 Illinois Media School Lombard Campus Fantasy Football Draft right here on the IMS Facebook Network.